All right. Hello, well wishers, viewers all over the globe where this has been accessible or where it's been accessed. Um, I'm welcoming you back again after 2 weeks of we could also call it a recess or maybe a break due to what happened to me, over the passing away of my uncle, my father, my friend, my colleague, my mentor, my teacher. Um, I know that some of you that are familiar with that, or I mean, with my denomination, would have heard about it. But some of you who are close to me as friends, also, it's possible that it's not going to be something new for you because you would have not. I mean, you had been part of the maybe all that happened or took place as regards to um, the day he breathed his last, and to the preparation and to the last respect we paid for him, putting the body to the ground. I would want to use this opportunity before I go on with today's discussion to appreciate all of you, both locally here in the States and abroad, wherever you are listening today or you're watching. I just want to register my profound appreciation and gratitude to God and to all of you for your support, during this tough time to us as children, to us, some of you that are friends to him, some of you that are, I mean, because of his wide range of coverage as regards to what he did here on earth, of course, based on probably it could be based on call as a minister or based on, community as a philanthropist or in a more governmental as a representative of his denomination or of his people, you know, we want to thank you so much for your support and standing strong, for us in that regard. So um, we would not, you know, I mean, our words will not be enough to kind of express our hearts, at that moment, how we feel about all of you individually, collectively, as churches, as community, for what you have done to support our family, um, shortly these days that have just passed. So thank you so much. I will pray that God will be the one to pay you back and to replenish back from where you are took out of your possession or anything that you've really brought forth to making um, last Saturday or sorry on Monday to a success to giving our dad last paying him a last respect. And some of you started right from when he was sick in the hospital. You never relented to pray, to give, and to support with your advice, different pieces of advices that came from people. We thank you so much. Appreciate you for everything. May God, continue to keep us together even as we do His will. So thank you so much. Thank you so much on behalf of Seaman Ibrahim's family, immediate and at large. Thank you so much. appreciate you for everything. Well, once again, we're back after a while of missing, all for good, all for good. It is, I know for some of you, sometimes after, we've had the discussion and calls and questions, comes from places that, yeah, some people would tell me that, yeah, thank you for doing that. Some people would say, wow, we didn't know about this. Some people would say, if we had known this before. Yes, of course, we learn every day, and we will continue to learn more about this topic, marriage, which is a subject that I I think is widely talked about, widely researched, widely, preached about, widely taught about, widely, I mean, you can go on and on and on, but still, we are not anywhere close to say this is the ideal of what marriage is, or this is what is marriage, or this is the answer to problems that we face in marriage. So that is why, before I jump into something that I've been thinking of doing, which would take me for a while, I love, talking about that, because one of the things that we are lacking in our marriages today is, the peace that we lack. Peace is a clinical term, because when you're depressed, you're out of peace. When you're traumatized, you're out of peace. When you struggling with anxiety, you're out of peace. When you have bipolar, schizophrenia, I mean, all, psychotic moments, all of this, peace is kind of absent. It's kind of absent. So that is why after today, I am going to have us, walk through, what I've been, teaching for the past 2 years or so, peacemakers, by borrowing, from someone that I've been, using his material for a while, Kent Sunday. So I'll be looking at, peace making, from his perspective, and because he has this kind of balance understanding of what peace is all about and what is missing about peace. And so when you're talking about that, normally when there's misunderstanding and disconnect in marriage, then definitely there's peace. There's always lack of peace in that. And so I would want us to kind of delve into that, from next week. But today, I just want to kind of, maybe, I don't know whether to call it review or to kind of um, touch base, or kind of say something from a clinical perspective, or from a psychological perspective, as regards to the mystery of marriage, or, is marriage a mystery, kind of, because I've seen it, my brother and friend, uh, Sid Kajang, I think he did, a presentation about that. You can now see how, spirit works, and how our minds, minds that think, goes one thing or goes towards one direction. Because we talked about this, he shared with me a story about something that really, sometime, happened, between him and one of our friends, and somehow I think we immediately tuned to that, because since we're doing something to help, somehow out there, so we all, tuned to say, well, you know what, it's worth talking about it. And so, and I think he did talked about that, but I should have talked about that, 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't do it. Why? Because as soon as the announcements and of course of what happened to us, so I couldn't really go back to it. So, but I will just go ahead and just kind of take uh, probably a few minutes or so to talk about this mystery of a thing, marriage. So from the psychological standpoints, um, I don't know what you think about when you hear about mystery, and when it talked about marriage as also a mystery, because people have been marrying all this while. People have engaged in all different forms of marriages. You call it Christian marriage, you call it traditional marriage, you call it court marriage, you know, cultural. I mean, whatever you want to call it, marriage is marriage. But which one is the ideal is the question. Because from the biblical standpoint, we would say, yes, this is what the Bible says concerning marriage. And we would also say, well, you know what? This is my way of doing, my way of understanding marriage. So depending on where you are coming from, depending on your perspective about marriage, but you would um, agree with me that marriage is a mystery. Why? Because the way I put it out there, I said, I mean, it is not a man-made. That's one thing I just wanted to put it there. It is not a man-made thing that we can decide, its ideals, and we can decide its standard to say this is how it should be. But because it is God's thing, He decides the time or what we should really, see as ideals, and He decides, what are and how, it should be, because it is not our thing, it is His thing. So because it is His thing, and that is why it's mystery, because God is mystery. Because we cannot understand God. We can learn about Him. We can try to know Him, to walk with Him, but a lot of thing about Him is mystery. A lot about Him is a mystery. You know, and that's why we. Mystery. People like was said, who could say it, as it's supposed to be, from the original Greek term, you know mysterion. Of course some people would say it's something that was not revealed but now revealed. But for me, if it is revealed, then I'm seeing it that, well, if it's revealed, it is not revealed but now revealed, meaning that then we should know it by now. We should understand what marriage is by now. But I think it is something that is not revealed, and cannot be revealed except God Himself to an individual, or it can only be fully revealed or fully known, you know, when we are perfectly, fully, in His presence. And we will probably kind of because I know that, because I'm not here to preach to say, well, let's go to Ephesians 5, and talk about, or go to Genesis, or go to and talk about what the Bible say and how marriage began. What is Paul talking about, marriage, and what, we could go back to look at those, but you can agree with me that if we were, or if we would know about marriage, would have known about it a long time ago. The books that have been written about marriage should have informed us the right thing to do. Unfortunately, it is not. Unfortunately, it is not, because each person, like I always say that, people who write book, they write book from their own perspective, from their own understanding of that very particular topic. And that is why when you are, writing about marriage, you want to write about what you know, or you want to interact with other people's knowledge, about what they know, or because you've experienced, you've been married for years, or you've seen, now you want to compare your marriage and that Mr. B, Mr. A, Mr. C, Z, X marriages, putting them together, then you say, well, what you think from all of this is what marriage is all about. And so now someone is going to now put those, principles, suggestions together and say, yes, I'm going to do it that way. But guess what? It never works. Some people might probably work for them, but some will not. So, and that's why, marriage, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Now, come to look at it from this perspective. A white man from far off meeting a black person from far off. But there's this connection, there's this interest that draws the two together and say we want to live our life together. We want to do things together. And come to look at it from this perspective again. I have a client right now that I'm seeing, bi-weekly, a white man, Christian, and this African lady who's a Muslim decided to live together as husband and wife. Now, the question is, you will begin to spiritualize these people's marriage. You want to spiritualize it. You want to bring in your own your understanding of the Bible into their marriage. You want to define their marriage. But let me tell you something. That's your marriage. That's your understanding. That's your perspective. But for these two, what brought them together, or what drew them together, or what really, how the desire, how those feelings started, it's best known to them. They are the only one to describe, because when I sometimes, when I do premarital counseling, I ask a question: why do you want to marry this person? Tell me how much you know about this person. What do you value about this person? What are those qualities that you see that motivate you to marry this person? Now, you hear thoughts, to tell, because this is coming from psychology. It's thoughts, the way he's thinking about this person, the way she is thinking about this person, the way her feelings, towards this person, the way his feelings towards this person. Now, you would want to kind of hear from that person and say, I want to do it that way too. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. You have to understand it from your own standpoint. You have to, because your understanding is not my understanding. So, and that's why, I from some of the materials I was reading somewhere, this person says every one of us knows a lot about marriage. Every one of us knows a lot about marriage. Yet marriage still remains a mystery. We have observed our parents' marriages. We see the sometimes twisted stereotypes of marriage. on television. We think we know about the marriages of neighbors or friends. We know about our own marriages, or we fantasize about the marriage of our dreams. We think we know so much, when often we know so little. In fact, on the other, on the other hand, when we don't know nothing. So it is so obvious, it's so obvious to kind of say that it's mystery. It's a mystery. He said again, marriage can be very hard to figure out. Really? Yeah. Sometimes marriage can be so hard to figure out. Very hard. You try to put the puzzles together, try to put this one there is not going to fit, put this one there is going to fit. But someone is there, kind of trying to tell you, well, you know what, I just did this and I just did this and it worked for me. Yes. He says, even the best of people in the best of marriages often find it hard to explain what makes them succeed. And I bet you that's true. That's true. And one the beauty of it all is you see two people coming, out of their home, smiling on their faces, trying to do things, to our smart people, to kind of trying to put it, well, all is well, but allow them to go inside. It's all drama. It's all drama. And you that is seeing them out there struggling with your own marriage, you would think, oh, this is a perfect match, or this is, and of course, I used to have these members that from my church 15 years ago, and so my wife and I met these people through one of the programs that we attended, has to do with, couples, so to say. I think it was a couples retreat. They were holding hands, sometimes hugging each other, talking, trying to, do things that would tell you that this is a perfect marriage. And unfortunately, it wasn't. Since I was their pastor, having seen that before I met them, closely, I concluded then that this is a perfect marriage. Until the first time they came, they said they had a problem. Came for the second time, another problem. Third time, another problem. To the time that I have to be going to their house, sometimes midnight, sometimes 2 a.m., sometimes, until when I took from my initiative, because that it wasn't from my denomination, separation is not part of the deal. Talk more of divorce. You can only divorce probably when the marriage is not marriage. Maybe, someone decided to pretend that he is a functioning person, but is impotent. So, and he grabbed a woman, or and of course, that one is easily to kind of disengage. And of course, I said, hey, I'm tired of coming to your house, midnight, daytime, and all of that. I called the two, relations together and sat them. I say, There was no authority given to me to do this, but I'm doing this between me and God. You, the husband, or the you're gonna take your son, go home, and you're gonna take your daughter and go home. Whenever they are ready to be together or to live together, then they can call us again here in such a forum so that we talk about it and then they go back. But for now, I'm using my authority given by God, not by man, because if I go by man, the church will not allow me to do that. I said, well, you guys are going to separation. I'm not really giving you a certificate of divorce, but I am authorizing separation right now. Go your way, go your way. Thank God that I did that. Then after a while, few years, I think 2015, that I went back to Nigeria, I met these people together. So what happened, whether they were able, since I wasn't there, they were able to convene themselves like I instructed or I decided that day, I don't know, but they are back together. So what is in there in the marriage is what you cannot tell, but you can inform. So that's what we do as counselors. We try to bring you to that moment of awareness. We just give you awareness. Hey, people experience this. People come to this moment in their marriage, or this is, if you probably can apply this, probably, or if you go that way, I don't think. But from the biblical standpoint, this is what the Bible says about marriage. This is what you should know about marriage from the biblical standpoint. We try to put that out there, but the reality is what you face in your home. The reality is what you face from home. That's why I told you from the beginning when I started this, I said, hey, I'm not here to tell you marriage is sweet. These are this you try these principles, or these are 10 points how you can enjoy your marriage. These are 5 points how you can enjoy sex. These are 10 points, 100 points that are of understanding your wife. No, I don't want to do that. But what I decided to do, because that's why I said, I want you to understand marriage from the way we should understand each other, from how we should observe each other. That's why I said marriage and psychology. So, when we understand the psychology of one another, of each other, then we kind of go from there. And so that now that would inform, our belief, the belief that we have now, of course, now, of course, trusting God, like I always tell you that, this is what drives, I'm driven by, humility, patience, and faith. These are my driving force, or what drives me, in life, and to how I roll, how I go with my life. Humility, patience, and hope. So, and when I try to, I don't want to meet you because of your first reaction towards me, because of your behaviors towards me, or maybe cognitively, this is how, because I cannot understand what is in your cognitive. But I want to, when I see your behavior towards me, and that tells me probably this is how you're thinking about me. And so I cannot change that. I cannot change your behavior. I cannot change your thoughts. So that's what I see. Our thoughts towards marriage, and our beliefs towards marriage, what makes us to kind of walk in it and grow in it, and flourish in it. But it is not in the books I read or lectures I hear, seminars I attend, seminars, couple seminar, marriage seminar, or all of this are supposed to give us awareness as regards to what marriage is all about. But for someone to tell you that he understands marriage, he knows marriage, I don't want to call him a pathological liar or to say that he is. No. Well, who knows? God has revealed to him. And that's why we said mystery is what was not revealed, but now is revealed, as some definitions would say. But if this is God's revelation to that person, because I know from Paul's statement that he says he wish people are like him, to stay, unmarried, because he feels from his own understanding. Paul didn't really create marriage. Paul didn't establish marriage. No, God established marriage. But Paul's understanding about marriage, is that marriage is that thing that is so serious, is an institution, is a place of a seriousness that you don't want to just dive into it. Paul is trying to say, before you dive into it, you better understand what you are going into. You better understand what you would be meeting out there, so that when those things begins to unveil themselves, reality begins to unveil itself, because it's a mystery. You don't know until it's revealed to you. So when you begin to meet those things, now you need to know that, yeah, they are there. And that's why he's trying to say, hey, listen, you that are not married, if you can stay like that, it's good for you. But you that are in, now remember, this is what it's all about from his own understanding. And he says, listen, for you to serve God better, maybe it's better that you go, you can do that better without a wife or a family, because your attention, your time, your resources, your availability, your accessibility would be there for God. But for someone who is married, he's going to be divided. It's going to be like probably 50-50, or it depends on how much you're going to give to God and how much you're going to give to your family. And that's why today we have seen many people that have devoted, committed to God's work and have abandoned their family. So what would you think they're doing the right thing? I don't know. And we have seen people who decide to say, we want to go into the ministry. And of course, the ministry is not going well and the family is not going well. And some people, the ministry is not going well, the family is doing well. So I think, you see, that's where Paul is making his point. That's where Paul is trying to make his point. The mystery behind marriage is because understanding marriage is difficult. So now, if I would talk, as a Christian, now I would say that, and that's why, the secret of it all for me is fixing your eyes, or probably kind of now just looking to him who is the initiator, or the creator, or the one that has established it. Now I would go to him for my own understanding, for my own revelation, for him to reveal to me what I need to know, or what I should do, what I'm supposed to do. So, if you're not married, hey, listen, like I said, we cannot discourage you enough. We cannot teach you enough. We cannot inform you enough. But if you listen to what I've been saying from the start of this, forum, I try to say, hey, you don't want to jumpstart something that you are not ready, or you've not getting yourself, make some prep, for you before you get into it, so that you don't want to claim that because you've seen your friends, because you've seen your brother or sister, your mother. No. The secret of marriage is in the marriage. The secret of marriage is in the marriage, it's not outside the marriage. And that's why it's a mystery. I, for one, I've said it number of times before I got married. I preached about it, taught about it. I'll be looking face. I'll look people to them and say, "Hey, you are wrong. This is not how to do it. This is how marriage is supposed to be enjoyed. Marriage is supposed to be this." Guess what? When I got married, after the wedding, 1 year, 2 years, the more I proceed, the more I, excel in my, marriage, the more I rip out some of the things that I said before. The more I throw out, the more I burnt. Because yes, I only said those things because I did not, sit to kind of think about it, and I removed, this mystery thing, or I removed experience out of it. I removed reality out of it. I was only saying from from the intellectual perspective. Marriage is not about intellectual. It's not about the it's not, no. Marriage is not academic, guys. It's not. If it were academic, I've seen many professors would have been wonderful, would have enjoyed it, would have been, heroes of marriage. But it is not. Marriage is not academic. And of course, if it were just the experience there, those who have been married for 50 years would have told us that, yeah, you know what? Oh man, we can tell you this. For us to have stayed this 50 years in our marriage, man, marriage is sweet because of our experience. The more we age, the more we add years, the more we understand marriage, the way we enjoy marriage. No. But you are the only one that knows what is in there. But to tell someone this is tough to explain. So today I just wanted to kind of I know my brother, my friend, Pastor said, has said some things that because I know that he said it, because I didn't listen to what he said, but I believe you can probably, attest to what he's saying, subscribe to what he's saying, and to add to probably what you were thinking about it, so that, but today I'm just trying to kind of back up and give some kind of backups, to give some kind of support him, to him, to what he said, to tell you that, yeah, marriage is a mystery. The day we'll fully understand about marriage is the day that, we'll be with the Lord, because he is the only one that knows exactly the answers to this marriage, to what this marriage thing. But living in it, if you are in it, live in it, learn it, walk in it, walk with it, because the word patience, the word endurance, the word perseverance, the word, long suffering, all of these words, I don't think it medicines, it's kind of take away. No, but it kind of give relief. It gives relief, as you go on into the marriage, because sometimes something will happen. If you are a wife, your husband will do something that you feel like just parking, or you feel like you wish you had not known this man before. You wish you had never met this man before. Or if you are the wife, the husband, your wife will do something that you wish you had never met her before. You wish her name had never, come your way. But that's what it is. It's a mystery. You're the only one that will understand your wife. You're the only one that will understand your husband. So, guys, that's what I just wanted. That's what I said. I was just going to just piggyback some things, from it, to kind of and of course to say probably the last, from what this order is saying, the mystery of marriage is that it has a supernatural unity. It is like the unity that parent and children have, but it goes beyond that and eventually replaces the parent-child relationship with the husband-wife relationship. Marriage has a supernatural blessing and a presence. So just to kind of let you know about that. But I hope that kind of portrays the fact or the point or what brother said. But I'm going to leave you with this, and I'll see you next week. And next week, as I said, one of the things that is absent of our marriage is because that after we found ourselves in a distressful moment is peace. So I want to borrow, from Ken Sunday, his ideas about what peace from a Christian perspective. So, I might be, upfront with you guys. It's going to be from a biblical perspective. What peace, how what is peace, and how we can, because peace, like I always teach about it, nobody can give you peace. You are the only one that can give yourself peace. So in marriage, so we're going to talk about it and see how we can implement that in our marriage, as we try to observe ourselves, our partners, as we relate in this Mysterian, the institution of Mysterian. So yeah, thank you so much, for standing with me in this dark moment of our family, for the passing of our dad, So I will see you next week, and thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend, and stay safe. Love one another. You for the couple who are married already, enjoy the surprises, enjoy the realities. Okay, enjoy the mystery of marriage. Thank you. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.